Okay, so let's discuss about a brief account of evolution. Here we will discuss the complete evolutionary history of this plants as well as the animals. First, we will start with plant evolution and then we will go to the animal evolution. So the first organisms that invaded land were plants, and by the time the animals invaded land, plants were widespread on the land. So they were the first organisms that invaded the land. And now another important statement which is given in NCERT is seaweeds and few plants existed probably around 320 million years ago. Now what is the importance of this statement? See, 320 billion years ago, this time period is very important in case of this plant evolution because this is a time where the land plants emerged, the vascular land plants emerged, and which leads to the establishment of terrestrial ecosystem and which leads to the transformation of Earth's climate and biodiversity, and it also leads to the formation of extensive coal deposits. And when we discussed about these extensive coal deposits, yeah, it was giant fawns coming under pteridophytes were present, and then all fell to form coal deposits. So basically, the coal deposits form from the giant fawns from the pteridophyte group. Okay, right. So this is important to remember. Seaweeds and few plants existed probably around 320 million years ago, and giant fawns, pteridophytes were present, but they all fell into form what? Coal deposits slowly. ठीक है. And how the coal deposition or coal formation happen? Yeah, all these pteridophytes, the giant fawns fell to form coal deposition. They accumulated as land masses. They fill the land masses, and slowly because of high pressure and temperature, they turn into what called the pteridophytes. Anyway, we don't need to go to the details. This is just for extra reading. Now let's go to a kind of short phylogenetic tree of plant evolution. So plant evolution, everything starts from chlorophyte ancestors, the aquatic green algae. Aquatic green algae is the ancestors of all type of plants which you can see right now. And from this aquatic green algae chlorophyte ancestors, the non-vascular land plants, bryophytes evolved like mosses, liverworts, hornworts, etc. From the chlorophyte ancestors, tracheophytes evolved. Tracheophytes are plants which is having tracheids. They were having this conducting system like xylem, phloem, etc. So tracheophytes evolved, and from the tracheophytes, pteridophyta, the seedless vascular land plants evolved, like lycopods or sphenopsid or horsetails, fawns, etc. And from these tracheophyte ancestors, the gymnosperms, the plants with naked seeds, and angiosperms, the flowering plants evolved. Gymnosperms, if you see, yeah, ginkgos, conifers, nettles, cycads, etc., belongs to gymnosperms, whereas the dicotyledons and monocotyledons belongs to this angiosperms category. So you can see the Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, the gymnosperms, angiosperms, everything evolving from a common ancestor, the chlorophyte ancestors, the aquatic green algae. So first we have to understand this diagram, and then we can go to the next diagram which is a bit more complicated, given in the NCERT. So this is that complicated diagram which is given in NCERT. So let's start from the beginning. So as I explained, it's all starting from chlorophyta, the aquatic green algae. From the chlorophyta you can see that the bryophytes evolve, and bryophytes, you can see this shade, this line is going till this Cenozoic era. So you can see Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic era. So Cenozoic is the current era. That means bryophytes evolved from chlorophyta, and this bryophyte, the non-vascular land plants still exist. Okay, these bryophytes, the non-vascular land plants still exist. And from this chlorophyte ancestors, tracheophytes evolved, yeah, which is vascular land plants. And from these tracheophytes, the Zostero-phylum evolved during the Silurian time period. Zostero-phylum, they are vascular land plants, and from the Zostero-phylum, arborescent lycopods and the herbaceous lycopods evolved. Herbaceous lycopods, the herb-like lycopods still exist, but the arborescent lycopods, the tree-like lycopods, they extincted by the Permian period. They extincted by the Permian period. And you can see that by the end of this Permian, these arborescent lycopods got extincted. That's why you cannot see this line beyond it. This line is representing the evolution of this plant, and the width of this shade is representing its dominance. If it is wider, yeah, that time period this particular plant group was dominant, and if it is linear means that particular, yeah, it is present but it's not so dominant. Anyway, the point is, from the Tracheophyte ancestors, Zostrophyllum evolved. From the Zostrophyllum, herbaceous lycopods and arborescent lycopods evolved, and arborescent lycopods extincted by the Permian period. And from Tracheophyte, the Rhynia type plants also evolved. They are vascular land plants. From the Rhynia type plants, the Xylophyton evolved. They are also vascular land plants. And Xylophyton is the ancestors of horsetails and ferns. Okay, horsetails and ferns. So you have to remember this: lycopods, horsetails, and ferns. All of them are belongs to Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta, right? All of them belong to Pteridophyta, the vascular plants without a seed. And out of this, lycopods evolving directly from the tracheophytes, or kind of an intermediate ancestor is there. From there, the lycopods evolve, whereas these horsetails and ferns directly evolving from Xylophyton. And you can see these horsetails were dominant during this Carboniferous time period, but after that you can see they are reducing, or their numbers are reducing, but still they exist here. So tracheophytes evolved. From tracheophytes, Zostrophyllum evolves, and from tracheophytes, Rhynia type plants evolve. From Rhynia type plants, Xylophyton evolved. From Xylophyton, horsetails and ferns evolved. So bryophytes evolution we discussed. Yeah, we discussed about the pteridophytes evolution. Next is gymnosperms. Ginkgos, conifers, nettles, and cycads. These are gymnosperms, plants with seed, in which ginkgos, conifers, and nettles evolved directly from Xylophyton, whereas cycad evolution happened in a different line. From the Xylophyton, progymnosperms evolved seedless plants. From progymnosperms, seed ferns evolved. Cycads evolved from these seed ferns. Okay, cycads evolved from seed ferns. So, ginkgos, conifers, nettles, cycads, all of them are gymnosperm seed plants. But ginkgos, conifers, nettles evolved directly from Xylophyton, but cycad, which is a gymnosperm, evolved in a different line. And from the seed ferns itself, from the Xylophyton, progymnosperm, from the progymnosperm, seed ferns, from the seed ferns, cycads, and from the seed ferns itself, who evolved, the angiosperms or flowering plants evolved. And first dicotyledons evolved, and then followed by that monocotyledons evolved. And you can see that the angiosperms, they were very much dominant, and Cenozoic era is the era of angiosperms. That's why this shaded region is very much wide in this particular Cenozoic era of this angiosperms. So this is the plant evolution, and from this diagram, questions can be asked. So next we'll discuss about the animal